Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a really quick overview of, or comparison, more than an overview of these two pens. Now these are probably two of the most common fountain pens on the market. They are the Lamy Safari and the Lamy Al-Star. Now recently I introduced a friend to fountain pens and they got themselves a Safari. It's a great entry-level pen. It gives you a wide range of nibs available, everything from extra fine through to 1.9 if you're willing to sort of go and find them online or wherever you can purchase them from. It's got a good range of cartridges available into the Lamy proprietary cartridges. You can also buy a converter. It doesn't come with the pen, but you can buy a converter in Australia for around $10. And that opens up your available ink to any bottled ink on the market. So it's a really, really lovely sort of starter pen. Not the cheapest starter pen on the market, and in fact my friend had already had a range of Chinese pens, but yeah, they got a Safari. Now I have both Safaris and All-Stars and a range of both of them. I find them to be great sort of everyday carry pens, but a question does come up as to which one do I prefer, or which is better for what, or what exactly are the differences. So what I thought I'd do very quickly is just run through some of those basic differences here today, and then just do a writing sample. I have medium nibs on both of these. Medium is my preferred nib in general, but especially on Lamy pens. So I do a quick writing sample, just show you sort of how the pen writes, and the way that I've only inked up the Safari here, but the way the pen writes will be the same across the Safaris, the All-Star, and of course the Vista, which is basically the transparent or demonstrator version of the Safari, made of clear plastic. They all use the same nib and feed and converter, so it's just the exterior of the pen, the material the pen's made of, that differs between them. So what are the differences between the pens? Well, firstly, the material. That is the main difference. I chose both the blue ones here. I've got, as I said, a range of different colours for both of these pens. The Safari is made of what a lot of people say resin, but it's ABS plastic, and it's a strong, durable, really solid plastic material. It doesn't feel cheap in the hand. A lot of the knockoffs of this pen, you think of a lot of the Chinese brands, use a much lower quality plastic and you can feel it. This is the same sort of plastic that things like Lego is made of. So it's a good sort of, and if you've ever trodden on Lego, you know how hard that is. So yeah, this is that same material, and it's a really, really strong, sturdy, resistant material. The All-Star is made of aluminium. It's anodized to the colours. It does come in a huge range of colours, and as I said, across these pens you can get a huge range of different nibs. So yes, that is the main difference. They both have the same style clip, the same ink windows, the same general form and sort of structure, and uncapped they are both basically, once again, identical. The main difference being that with the Safari, the colour of the body is the same as the colour of the section, whereas with the All-Star you get a resin or plastic section here instead of the same anodized aluminium of the body. But same nib, and as I said, same feed and same converter across the pens. So at first glance they look to be basically the same. There are a few minor differences in terms of size. If we talk about the diameter of the body of the pen, on the Safari, that is 12.3, whereas on the All-Star it's 12.8. So we're talking absolute minimal differences here. The diameter of the cap is 13.5 to 14.8. The grip is exactly the same at 8.9, and the length of the pen is more or less the same when it's uncapped at 139.5 or 139.4 for the All-Star. So the All-Star is actually slightly shorter than the Safari, but not noticeably. The biggest difference is when the pens are posted, where we go from 163 millimeters, 163.9, sorry, to 167.4, and that is even still a minor difference. really not noticeable in the hand at all, and unposted 128.7 to 130. So in terms of size, you're not going to see a huge amount of difference in these pens. What are you going to see in terms of the weight? Well, the weight of the Safari is 17 grams, with 10 being in the body and 7 in the cap. And with the All-Star, we're talking 22 grams with 12 and 10. So once again, not a huge difference. Both pens are comfortable in the hand. Both are well weighted when they're posted or unposted. Perfectly fine size to use unposted. And yeah, both have that same, of course, that same triangular Lamy grip, which is liked by some people and hated by others. As a lefty, I don't mind it, and when I write with my right hand, which I occasionally do just for the fun of it, it's the same. It feels very comfortable. The other big difference between these pens is price. So what are we talking? Australian dollars in store, we're talking $50 and $70. So the difference of $20 between the ABS plastic and the anodized aluminium. Now online, I looked at the website of one major retailer, and the standard retail price is $37 and $47 American, but their listed price is $29.60 and $37.60. So there is still a price difference, a substantial price difference between the two models in the US, of course, and the same goes for European retailers. Of course, Lamy is a German brand, and when I was in Germany recently, I was amazed actually to see how common these pens are and how readily available they are just about in any remotely related store you can possibly go into. So now all but remains is to do the quick writing sample, which I'll do with the Safari here. I've inked it up with Atramentis Giuseppe Verdi, which is one of my favourite dark blue inks. It's not quite blue-black, it's really a really strong navy, some nice sheen there if you care for that. And yeah, so we'll just do a quick writing sample. So here we are with a lovely Rhodia dot pad, 80 GSM paper, the best, probably some of the best on the market for fountain pen use. So here we have the Lamy Safari. Oh gosh, that was badly written. Try that again. Safari. Writing sort of around lights and all that sort of stuff. This is a medium nib, and the ink is Atramentis Giuseppe Verdi. So the reason I like the medium nibs on the Lamys is that they put down a nice amount of ink. They're not super wet. As you can see, they've got good flow, but they're not sort of, and this is a wet ink, but they're not really sort of gushy pens. But they allow you to see the colour of the ink, some good shading and sheen on appropriate paper and all of that sort of thing. They are stiff nibs. You're not going to get line variation out of them at all, but they're consistent and they're smooth, they're reliable, and the beauty of these nibs, they're not fancy nibs, but the beauty of them is, as you can see that they sort of just wrap around the top of the feed, which means that they're easily switched, and you can replaced, and you can get, as I said, extra fine, medium, broad, 1.1, 1.5 and 1.9. Now the stub nibs, particularly the 1.5 and the 1.9, generally only come on the calligraphy pens, but they are available separately from a lot of retailers, so you can easily pick them up online or in a number of stores. Lamy also produce a black steel nib, which comes on a few of the All-Stars and Safaris, things like the petrol Safari, for instance, came with a black nib, as did the All Black this year. But you can only get them up to broad. You can't get them in the stub nib, italic nibs. But yes, these nibs write beautifully. They're reliable. They're smooth. As I said, with converters, cartridges, proprietary, yes, and the pen doesn't come with a converter, but you can get them. Your ink range available to you is wide, and the writing experience with those nib options is also quite nicely varied. So that was a quick comparison of the Safari and the All-Star. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Feel free to drop me a message to any of the platforms listed below. If you've got any comments on this video, or experiences you've had with Lamy pens, or anything that you've noticed that is particularly importantly different, things like the fact that one has a little black cap in the bottom and one is the same color as the body, things like that, they're minor cosmetic differences, but in terms of the structure and the quality of the pens, I hope I have given you a fairly decent rundown. Thanks so much for watching, and in the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy your writing, and I'll see you later.